Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video today that I'm making for Jacob Good as part of a custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen. It is by Damien Rice, titled Elephant. We're going to listen through this track from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
This has got to die.
Instantly depressing.
So this has got to stop. This has got to lie down with someone else on top.
Kind of gives me Radiohead vibes off the bat. So knowing Jacob, I can understand why we might be into this.
Well, you can keep me paired. It's easier to tease. But you can't paint an elephant. Quite as good as she.
A really raw performance from the vocalist. I'm enjoying the dynamic range of the guitars. So it's great live performance so far.
Like a baby, and she may drive me crazy.
Phenomenal power on their vocal performance. And just to transition to that falsetto, that wonderfully is fantastic. And just bringing it back down again. Great change in energy level, very entertaining.
Take it, I'm your crutch. The pillow in your pillowcase is easier to touch. And when you think you've said it, you fall upon your knees. You sit within your picture. You still forget the breeze. And she may rise if I set you down. And she may wise, lead clear to the ground. 'Cause
The pillow and the pillowcase thing, is that something there?
would she take me?
I've never heard the word like horny used in a way where it seems so heartfelt. It's never really used that way, is it? You know, well done to Damien Rice for making that word like subjectively acceptable in a song like this. Not that I think it's like, oh, it's a bad word, you know, he made it bad. It's just...
What's the point of this song? Or even singing?
I mean, I can relate to that.
You've all
Not because I think it's a bad song, but because, like, I think a good thing to talk about is what is the point of music? Like, writing it. What is the point of talking about it? What is the point of communicating with someone?
let it go. Why am I clinging? But I could throw her out, I could live without, and I could do it all for you. I could be true, yeah. Well, tell me if you want me to lie, 'cause this has got to die. So this has got to stop. This has got to lie down. With someone else on top. You could both
This has got to lie down with someone else on top. Nice work there.
keep me pure. 'Cause it's easier to tease. But you can't make me happy, no, no. Quite as good as me. Ooh, you know that's a lie.
I mean, that's pretty wild. That song's pretty wild. I'm gonna go over what I think that this is about. It wasn't what I thought going into it. Because this is the conclusion of my review of this track by Damien Rice titled Elephant. What do I think this track is about? I think it's about a man who's talking about being horny, and I think he's had something going on with a person, and I think it's like a forbidden thing, right? They're not really meant to have something going on there. And he's realized that just they maybe need to get with someone else. He can't rely on that person anymore. He can make himself happier than they can. Maybe that's the thought of them being with other people teases him. You know, he's just struggling with the situation he's in. He needs a release, but he can't get it, and the way he can, quote unquote, get it is not working for him. There is a phenomenal amount of wordplay in there that I'd probably need a few listens to really get my head around, but there are a few of them. Like, there were words that wouldn't necessarily seem like they were in place until you heard the last part of the song. It's kind of like watching a movie and then going back to the start of it and being like, oh, I understand why this, and this happened. You know? It gives you replay value. I think that's great. That's great lyricism right there. And the guy sang it from the heart. It sounded like something that they'd gone through, and I think it's explosively difficult to really talk about this. Like, people have passions and desires, man, and it's something you've either gotta commit to being well behaved, or you're gonna completely fuck it up. And it just makes things worse in most situations. Sometimes it can may help you to realize the limitations of your original situation, but other times you just feel like shit and it's awful, you know? I think this guy is dealing with the consequences of his actions and just trying to figure out the answer, and that's why I said, what's the point? It's like, why am I writing this? What's it going to change? When in reality and in actuality, the only way he's going to move past the place he's in is to tackle it and accept it for what it is and have the song as proof that it occurred in the first place. I think that's incredibly brave, you know, so well done to him. His head and chest voice was fantastic. It was encapsulating. it was very raw and visceral, and there was no processing on his vocals. It was just him and his pipes, and he handled it, and it was very heartfelt, and I felt bad for him. But then also it's difficult because he's not an innocent party either, is he? You know. Anyways, the track at like 6 minutes 15, it's through composed. You know, there might have been a couple of choruses occasionally, but it's mostly about that one sort of guitar riff. There were some extensions on the top near the end with like the kind of G and B string lines there with a bit of shimmer and chime just to kind of continue the track developing. But mostly the song is about the tale that's being told on the vocals, and the guitar is simply there to kind of buff it up and give a bit of extra added context. And I think that that's a smart move. I don't think we needed more to this song than that. I don't think having a big band finish would have necessarily helped it. It's a very intimate piece there that really does benefit from the dynamic range it has. And I'm really happy that we kept it minimalist in regards to the arrangement and composition. There were some 7th and extension chords within that harmony there that added a sense of emotional complexity to it, which made sense. There might have even been some susses for like a sense of emptiness there. As a final note, the phenomenal amount of dynamic range in this track is noteworthy. I'm really glad that he kept it quiet in some more sort of vulnerable parts, and then he called out for the horny part like really loudly. You know, that's the epitome of a great performance there. Having it have range, be its own beast. Studio recording, mixing, mastering. I mean, it was good. You know, it was obviously a live take there. It wasn't pristine and perfect and sterilized or over compressed or whatever, but I didn't need that. Same with the guitar. No word resonant frequencies in the frequency spectrum, nice and wide in the stereo field. It was just a dude on stage with his guitar. No technical issues. Nice and loud without pumping, with a phenomenal, like, the loudness to quietest part range was one of the biggest I've heard in quite a while, and that helped the performance. But you could always hear him. And that's what was most important, and that's testament to the live engineers who recorded this event. So well done to them too. All in all, a great introduction, Damien Rice. This is effectively my review of this track of his called Elephant. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show him some love via his various social medias. I'm sure this is on all digital streaming platforms. And stay cool, stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next review or in the next SP Patrons video. Spiderhands Out.